Welcome back, viewers, to the East Manchester experiment. We're here a little earlier than I was expecting to. I did say I'll be back for the games against Vauxhall Motors and Abbey Hay, but if you look at the league table, you'll notice that Vauxhall Motors have dropped a few points recently, as have Abbey Hay, and I just felt that they were just not the right games to be doing. So I decided to come back for this. As you'll see, Skelmersdale are actually, strictly speaking, they are the closest challengers to us. Yes, Alsager Town have got an extra point, but they've also got a game in hand. Well, Skelmersdale's got a game in hand over them. So uh, certainly, if we don't win today, then Skelmersdale will be second place, if not third place. In fact, if they beat us, they will go above us in the table. As you can see, though, we are in pretty good form, and I'm fairly confident about today. My one slight concern is the defence, because we are a little leaky still. Um, this tactic, I think, is pretty good. We score a lot of goals because of it. We are going to leak a few, particularly on the wings. And if you look at our goals conceded, that's let's say in the last 20 matches. That's roughly how long we've been using this thing, this tactic. Sorry. The goal assists have come mainly from crosses, so that's not entirely surprising. So those are the ones for, aren't they? So these are the ones for 10 from crosses. There have been 9 from passes from a little deeper, which is perhaps more of a worry in some ways. I think this number is the one that concerns me most. These numbers are kind of expected, I think. You see, for us, it's some pretty good little distribution there. It suggests that the team is working pretty well as a whole, I think. And certainly, if you look through the squad, the average rating suggests that things are going really quite well this season. Billy Fisher, you may notice, is injured. He's got injured in the last game. In training, I think, before this game. So Ben Winterbottom, who's been out of the side this season, is going to be back in. But I'm not too worried about that. He was never a disaster in this league, so it's not the end of the world. Although Billy Fisher has been an improvement without doubt. But as you can see from everyone else, there is a lot to be very happy about. Every single person, every single outfield player anyway, and Billy Fisher's not far away, is on a green average rating above 7, which is great. I'm just astounded by how many goals my strikers are getting. It really is quite incredible to think this is 48 goals already, and it's only January between the three of them. So that really is quite amazing, and much more than I would expect to get from even having 2 strikers. The idea of someone at this level getting 48 goals by themselves before January is just absurd. So 3 strikers seems to have worked really well for us, and I'm certainly really happy that we made that switch last season. It means that I don't need to worry about fullbacks anymore. I can just forget about them, concentrate on worrying about one position fewer, because 2 positions fewer, because right back and left back not worried about anymore. Centre backs obviously, plus the wingers, centre midfielders, which I was doing anyway, and just using an extra striker. So we have got a few strikers. These are my 3 best by some distance, I think. But I have got some fairly capable backups in Bradley Baker, who is not a terrible player for this level, and Liam Noble, who can also play there too, and certainly physically anyway, I would think physically is about the best player. His technicals mean that he's not the best option there, but physically speaking, he is brilliant. I am, as you can see from the try list I've got in at the moment, trying to find myself another central defender, because that's the one place I still feel I have problems. Jimmy Pollard is out at the moment, so we are using our backup, which at the moment I think is Dominic Collins, but it is. I keep changing my mind about who's my kind of weakest of the 4 players that I've got in this squad at the moment. I think it's probably Collins. That's him. Then part of me thinks that he's the oldest, so maybe I should be using him because the experience is useful. I'm not sure. Brad Wild is certainly a player I'm very excited about. He's 18. He's pretty good. He should get better. Oldham boy, I think he could well be a real star. He's been picking up these numbers in this league at 18. I hope next season he can really pick up the pace, hopefully in the league above, and really improve. Central midfield clearly is a real strength. We've got Hayhurst and Ugochukwu working brilliantly together. Someone like Jay Matete, who has been a bit of a mainstay for the last couple of years, has just not really gotten into the side all that much. He's come off the bench a fair bit, but not much in terms of starting games, just because Ugochukwu and Hayhurst are playing so well together. You'll notice I've now got someone called Ugochukwu Samuel as well, which I'd quite like to get someone called Ugochukwu Samuel, just because having 2 Ugochukwus in the same side might be quite cool. But I don't think he's really good enough, is he? We'll see. I've got him on trial for a little longer yet, so hopefully I'll be able to sort of see how these are. If these mental stats are at the high end of this range, some of the physicals are high end as well, then it might just be worth thinking about. His lack of heading ability is a bit of a problem, I think. Plus the tackling of 1 to 5 means that I think he's probably a no-go. But as you can see, that is clearly the position at the moment that is the biggest concern to me, and I want to find myself a really decent central defender, certainly before next season, so that I can complement these 4 players that I've got at the moment, who are fine. But certainly next season I feel like I will need an upgrade, and actually if you're going to play 3 centre-backs, then I think it's useful to have 5, and Greg O'Neill I really don't like. He's okay as a fullback. He's not good as a centre back at all. So here we are. We're going on to get into a game against Skelmersdale in this top. It really is very top of the table clash here. This is a game that we really need to win, just to to keep ourselves top of the table, but also to keep away the challenge. I would take a draw, I think, if I'm honest. It would take us 3 points clear of the pack, and it would mean that we have that little bit of a cushion going into the meat end of the second half of the season. So I'd take a draw, but a win today really would be a very, very big result for us. So this is the team. We've talked through it already. I am very, very happy with that side. We are going to submit it, and hopefully we can have the first of 2 wins today. So say we will take a break after this game, and I'll come back after the next league game for the League Cup match, which comes 2 games later. Here we go then. Let's see if we can keep that gap between ourselves and the chasing pack. Free kick here. Ossé takes it, hits the bar, and Smith can pounce on the rebound. It's 1-0 to East Manchester. Really, really important goal that to get us off to a good start. It really does make a massive difference to this team, more than any other team I've had. It really is a huge predictor, I think. That first goal, it makes such a massive influence. I don't think I can think of many games where I've conceded first and won the game. Whereas usually if I score first, I go on to score more. So I'm really, really think it's crucial to get that first goal in these games. Khan, of course, now they're going to equalise and they'll win the game because I've said that. It's a stupid thing to say. Why would you say that, greyed out man? Really daft. Stephen Loise, lovely name. Shiraz Khan, also another lovely name. Quite cross, actually. It's a good bit of play there from Skelmersdale. Can't really blame my players for that. It's just a good bit of football. Akinola crosses in straight into the arms of Fowler, the keeper. Hopefully we can push and get that goal again, because for all that I've said that the first goal is important, obviously if they equalise then the next goal is the important one, and Khan has got it. So this is not looking good for us now. In reaction I should have gone a little more defensive once we scored that goal. That was a bit daft. I don't want to do that now because we need to get that goal, get back into this game, because if we don't, this is not looking quite so good in terms of the table. We would lose top spot and it would be out of our hands. I absolutely would take a draw at this point without a shadow of a doubt. So can my players get it? Is now the question. Morrison gives the ball away to Thompson. That was really loose. Luaz crosses the ball to Khan, and Shiraz Khan has made it 3-1. It's such a poor start to the game when you go 1-0 up to then be 3-1 down at half time at least. It really is not good. And you do think once, as I say, when the team goes 1-0 up, generally speaking, we are pretty good. Today has been an exception. A huge long ball there. We just look so vulnerable once we start losing goals. It feels like we're going to lose goals every single time they go forward. I'll say, Fowler saves it. This is really poor. I'm going to have to really blast them at half time. I'm usually quite positive with my players this season because, well, partly because we're doing well, but also partly because I've realised that it is quite important to be generally quite positive with your players, I think, because it does make a big difference in Football Manager. But after a performance like this, I can't pretend that this is good. It's terrible. They're a title rival, I get that, but this is not good enough. It really isn't, and I'm going to have to kick some ass. Tell them to show some passion, see if we can get one before half time. It would be nice to be sort of within a goal at half time, certainly. Akinola crosses it in. Could be our last chance to get it, but Harrison Creed clears it away. Hayhurst, and it's cleared away again. Thompson's through. Is it going to be 4? Oh, do you know what? Now at this point, there's not much point in blasting them because they're not going to change this now. We're not winning this game. We're not getting anything out of this game. What a disaster! What a disaster! I don't know what to say. It's just been a dreadful game. Lewis Morrison. I've been saying this all season. I don't like Lewis Morrison. He's not good enough. But unfortunately, when we have injuries, there's not much choice here. You know, I didn't really have anyone else who could come into this side. Greg O'Neill is not a centre back. Jimmy Pollard's out. I mean, we've got Andrew Smith, but he's he's even worse. He's there just as an extra body, but he's never been good enough. You can see here, he's playing in Northern Counties East, which I think is the league below us, I think. If not, then it's the same level. And you can see the average ratings here are dreadful. It's just not. He's not the kind of player who's going to be able to come into this team and make any kind of difference. I don't think there's a lot of point in berating them, but I also don't really see much. I expect to see a much better performance showing from you. Yeah, that seems to have worked quite well. See if my defence can push on in the midfield, make the difference for us. Frankly, at this stage, if we can win the second half, I'm quite happy from this point. And obviously, I'm not happy, but from this point. We've been a little unlucky. We have had shots. Maybe we've been a little unlucky, but not much. They've had two clear-cut chances to our 0. And the defending's just been dreadful. And it's another penalty. Great. Khan makes it 5. We are getting spanked here. I'm going to go on to defensive. We're not getting back into this game. There's not much point in trying. Just try not to get absolutely tonked. Oh, God. Why have I saved this for a live com? My form is brilliant. Where has this come from? I know it's part of being a lower league manager. I get that. But when you look at all those wins, we had 6 wins in a row in all competitions. 6. And then this happens in a live com. What's that about? What's that about, guys? It's not good enough. Right, I'm going to make some substitutions, just save some legs. Keep Finley Hayhurst for the next game. One of our best players at the moment. Harry Waterhouse has been in such good form this season, decided not to bother today. And I don't care if Lewis Morrison gets sent off, really. Jacob Ossey's actually had quite a good season, so I'll bring him off for Brook. Oh, 5-1 at home, and it could get worse. And it has got worse. Stephen Lewis again. Is that a hat-trick? I think it might be. 6-1. No, it's only 2 for Lewis. Khan's got the hat-trick. So Skelmersdale will go top with a massive goal difference. It really is a huge difference. Obviously not helped by today, but that's a big gap. We're now going to have to start going on another run, really. I mean, that's the only way around this, is we just have to go on another big run that we've just been on. I know we can do it. That really has deflated me. Hopefully by the time I come back, I'm going to stick with my original plan. So hopefully by the time I come back for the game against Congleton Vale Rangers, which it looks like we're a big favourite for, which is good news. Hopefully by the time I've come back, there will have been a win against Widnes, and you will be able to see us score a few goals against Congleton. That was part of the reason why I wanted to do that game, because I felt like it'd be a game that I could show you a few goals, show you how my team's sort of gelling together and playing. And as I say, they have been recently, so it's just strange. I have a feeling, did we do the Northwich Victoria game last time? I can't remember. Or it might be in the Alsager. I think it was the Alsager game, wasn't it? So you've seen. It feels like you've seen some of the worst performances this season when we've actually played quite well most of the season, as evidenced by the fact that we were top of the league before this episode. So I will be back at the end of a 6-match unbeaten run. I'll be back in a few days' time. So see you on the 1st of February. So we've changed it up a little bit for this game, gone straight into the game. We're playing Congleton Vale Rovers in the League Cup quarter-final. I've said many times before, it's generally the only cup competition that I'm in that's worth it in any way in terms of money, at least unless I can win the FA Vase, which at the moment is a long way off. £10,000 at the moment, given that we're about 100,000 in debt, is not a huge amount of money, but it's certainly not to be sniffed at. And I think it's now a competition that I can realistically win this season. So hopefully this should be a fairly straightforward win, and we might see some goals. Tim McInerney getting injured early on is not ideal. So Jazz Casey, in his less favoured position on the left, will have to come on. Don't really have anyone else who can play in that position at the moment, so I think it's got to be him. Let's try and get some goals. We are big favourites for this. And here we are with the first highlight of the game, half an hour in. Winterbottom, long to, I think it was Waterhouse. But it's coming back at us, and Short has the ball and shoots over the bar. But that's the first highlight of the game. We haven't really had any proper chances yet. We have had 3 shots, but nothing of any interest. This is a team we should be beating quite easily. I'm a little disappointed that we've got through nearly 40 minutes without scoring so far. And they're on the attack again. This is going to be a penalty. No, not that time. But Ranger is going to put that wide. So they've been wasteful with their chances, but at least they had them. We haven't had any proper chances yet, none that are worthy of a highlight anyway. Looks like we've been shooting from long range a little bit. Not something we ought to be doing really against a team that we are clearly superior to. I'm going to tell them they're unlucky. I don't think they are really. They just haven't played very well. No one has done anything of note yet. It's just a bit disappointing to see that against a team that we should be beating quite easily. I really thought this would be a bit of a goal fest. I was thinking it'd be sort of 5, 6, 7 even. But it's clearly not going to be that. Maybe we'll have a bit more of an exciting game than I thought we were going to have. A little bit of pressure on us to make sure that we can get this win. Probably not helped by our one fan. We have one fan at this game. That is, away crowds are something that we're going to have to try and make sure we improve on in the next few years. I'm going to make a substitution again. Let's see if we can change this game a little bit. I'm going to bring off Javan Smith for Bradley Baker, who is not a proper striker, but he will be able to do a job for us, I think. We'll leave that there. We'll bring off Finley Hayhurst as well because he's indisciplined. I think he may get sent off if we leave him on, so we'll bring him off for Jay Matete. Would really like to just nick a goal that we don't deserve here and just forget about this game. It's obviously not the best choice I've ever made in terms of a live comp. I'm going to go very attacking now. I want to try and make sure we win this. I don't know whether we go to straight to extra time and penalties, or whether there's a replay in this competition maybe. So there is extra time after 90 minutes, good. But not straight to penalties. It's probably a good thing, gives us a bit more time to get a goal, but we haven't shown any significant pressure or threat yet. Not a single shot of note. We've had one on target, but it wasn't a highlight. Looks like extra time. So, not very impressive, to be honest. It's a game we should be winning very, very easily. I'm not at all happy. We need to be doing better than that. It's starting to feel like this game is going to go to penalties without any sort of without any goals at all, which would be really, really a real shame against the team we should be beating. We were certainly big favourites for this. They are, what league are they in? Carlton Vale Rovers. Northwest Counties League Division 1 South is at least one division. They're level 10, so yeah, there's one level below us. Really is a game we should be winning with a bit more ease than this, given that we are looking for another promotion now. Osse has the ball, it's a free kick, swings the ball in, and it's a complete waste. Pretty pathetic, really, that. It's not the sort of thing I wanted to see. And it really does look like we're going to penalties. Throw in on the far side, Ugachukwu. And Waterhouse picks up the loose ball. Casey on the wing. Through in towards Waterhouse, but can't quite get to him. Matete to Ugachukwu again. Matete again shoots, and just wide. That was a chance. First proper chance that we've really had in this game. Osse. Oh, he scored it! he's nicked it. Out of all the ways to nick a goal in the last minute of extra time, he's just swung it around the... It's comical goalkeeping. It really is. Look, I'll take it. It's dreadful. We played really badly today. We don't really deserve this, but I'll take it. Just seeing out the last minute now. We don't need to put the ball in. Didn't need to do that. I assume that will be full time anyway, so I'm not too bothered. Yeah, it is all over. It's a win that we really didn't deserve. Jacob Osse with an absolute fluke from a penalty, from a free kick, which the goalkeeper just pretty much let in. Really poor from him, and really lucky for us. We didn't deserve that. And I'm going to make sure they know that. I'm going to be aggressive. No, I'm going to be assertive. I think got away with that today because we did. And they accept that as well. We really did get away with that a bit. It's a real shame that we couldn't score some goals and make this live com a little more interesting for you. I'm sorry about that. I thought that was quite, in theory, that the thinking behind that was sound. That we would have a nice easy game in the cup, that we could knock a few goals in and entertain people a little. But that obviously didn't quite work out. We are though in the semi-final at least, so that's something. We've obviously got Vauxhall Motors coming up next, and then Abbey Hay. As I said to you earlier, Vauxhall Motors had fallen away a little bit, and they are 6 points behind us now. It's really now about Skelmersdale and Alsager more than anything else, I think. Those are now going to be our two main rivals. So that means Alsager Town's not till the 2nd of April. I would hope to have the title wrapped up by then, I think. So we've got Vauxhall Motors and Abbey Hay now, which I would hope now would be was tough games. They would be easier than perhaps I did think before. And if I was to win those, you would hope that Alsager and Skelmersdale might drop some points in that time. Alsager playing Earlham, it's probably going to be a win. Skelmersdale playing Congleton Town, that might be a tough game for them. Alsager and Skelmersdale. AFC Blackpool should be a win for Skelmersdale there. Congleton playing, no, it's not Congleton, it's Alsager and Skelmersdale. Alsager, yes, they're playing Litherland. Yeah, nothing massively difficult coming up for them, to be honest. Skelmersdale then playing Winsford United, which they're in the mid-table, so might be a tough test for them. Alsager playing 1874. They are rock bottom at the moment, so nothing massively difficult for those teams. So we may need to just keep winning. Skelmersdale playing Berska. Yeah, low down as well. So actually they've got a fairly easy run of games over the next few weeks, these teams, and so we're going to have to keep winning, keep the pressure up, because otherwise we could see that our lead gets sort of eaten away at, and possibly that we lose touch, because we do need to keep winning. I'm just looking for the next time when we can say that there's a real tough test for one of our close rivals, but there really aren't any for a little while. So yeah, the pressure is up at the moment. We're going to need to start really building up some form. Skelmersdale playing Vauxhall Motors at this point in the 11th of March. It's a little way away. That could certainly be a game that could be interesting for us. And then Alsager playing that day. They're playing Silsden, who are doing okay. So that could be an interesting day on the 11th of March, certainly. But before then, we just need to keep winning and winning and winning. We're still on a pretty good run, despite our 6-1 defeat. We managed to win that game 3-1 in between the last two games. A nice, almost easy win, I would say. We could take our foot off the gas a bit after those first 21 minutes and just kind of coast our way through. So hopefully, over the next few games, we can get those two crucial wins against these two teams who have been close to us this season, and then come back a little bit later in the season and say, okay, we're looking at wrapping up the title a little earlier than perhaps we might otherwise have done. So as to when we're going to come back, I will probably come back at a point where that has either become more exciting or it looks like we might possibly wrap a title up. So I'm thinking probably it'll be sometime in March. Actually thinking about it, if we're in the League Cup semi-final, that might be the time for us to come back. So Bootle, they're quite low down in the league. 1874 Northwich are also very low down in the league. I'm going to come down, I think, for the League Cup semi-final and the Northwich game, because that might be the opportunity to have the game that this wasn't, and actually put quite a few past the team. Because it's a shame that we got slaughtered earlier in this video, and you haven't seen our score loads for a while. So I'll be back on the 22nd and the 25th of March, I think. It is possible, of course, we could have wrapped up the title by then if things go very well. But either way, I think if we have wrapped up the title, it's not going to have been exciting. So that's okay, and I don't particularly mind that. At that point, the League Cup will be a big issue. If we have wrapped up the title already, then I might just do a double live com with the League Cup semi-final and the final if we get there, and if not, maybe the last game of the season. But we will see how that goes. So come back tomorrow. I hope you will do so, and we will hopefully be able to wrap up a third promotion in 5 years if we could do that, which I'm happy with. It's not brilliant. I think I would have preferred it to be 3 and 4 from the very bottom. I wasn't expecting 4 and 4 or anything like that, but 3 and 4 would have been good. I think it was certainly 1 year too long in this league. Last year was such a disappointment. If we can go up this year, it would be very good. And as I did say at the start of this season, I didn't necessarily expect it, but hopefully this can now be the season that we go up. So I'll see you tomorrow, and have a good evening.